Hello, everybody, and welcome to Floating Fortress. How is my favorite player doing today?
Well, I'm sure Lucas is doing fantastic, but he's not here right now. I'm doing good, though. Wait. Oh, you were saying I'm your favorite player. I'm sorry.
I was
doing
talking
great.
to you. I mean,
Stop it! You're so precious.
some people have that, extra X factor, and you being such a big Musk fanboy have that extra X factor.
Absolutely,
I tried to keep it together.
That's Potato, big Elon Musk fanboy, well known.
Yeah.
Big.
Their collection of 4 Cybertrucks,
I've got 4. So I have 4 Cybertrucks. One for each foot of the elephant.
Right.
I'm going for a sort of Discworld vibe. 4 Cybertrucks holding up the elephant that holds up that world. You have got the turtle and then the 4 elephants and then the
Island,
world.
not Discworld, the book series by Terry Pratchett.
No,
Turtle Island.
No. It's fine. It's okay. I understand that you're an uncultured swine and you don't read proper literature. I get it.
I'm just old, okay? 40 is an ever approaching number for me, okay? It'll be here sooner than later. I don't know anything
soon
anymore.
It'll be an ever receding number.
Okay, so hello, my former favorite player who's made reality crash down upon my ears.
Hey, listen, 40 will recede faster than my hairline.
Oh, God, I was trying not to say something like that. As from a young age, my mom was like, my dad was bald and his dad was bald and all the men in my family are. So by the time you're in your early 20s, you're not going to have any more hair. And you say this to a little kid, and you're like, okay, but then you grow up your entire life being like, it's going to happen any day now. And it's
coming for me.
Slow. Yeah.
You see this?
I see it.
It's coming for me slowly.
Yeah.
Every year I lose like half a centimeter and my forehead just gets bigger.
Yeah.
It's over, bros. This is why I wear my hair forward, because I can still maintain that youthful, hey guys, I'm 17. I like Pokémon. What's up? I'm like Jan, Jan's like 12, right?
Oh man, I don't even.
I don't know how old he is.
I think it starts with a 2, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I got the same thing, except it's instead of moving back on the forehead. I mean, it moved back a while ago, but it's just up on top. It's just slightly less and less every day.
Bro, here's the thing. Me and my 2 brothers, we all have the same hairline. And my other brother's is just like, it's the exact same as mine, but he's like 7 years older than me. And that shit is just like an extra inch back. And I'm like, no, this is the future.
Looking down at your fate.
I miss when my forehead was only 3 inches. That was like a 5 head now, dude. Jesus. I got to hide that shit. Hold on. There we go.
Oh, yeah. I got to hide that up. That's why I keep it buzzed short, because if it gets long, you can just see right through it. And so you got to keep it short.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So now that the existential dread has set in, let's play some Dungeons & Dragons.
So now that we've talked about our insecurities.
Where last we left, the rest of the party is heading off to Hunter's Bay, a nearby island, to go sort of maybe start scouting out the rest of things. And you were called back at the last moment, just before you got into a boat, because Mayor Bromit needs you. He seems to have some pressing issue for you. And so as you pull away from the party, or as they hop into a boat and go back, Mayor Bromit will walk with you back to his mayoral homestead, which is the temporary town hall, in effect. And let's get some little town music going on. Let's just get some background of our quaint, lovely little Aknara. So Mayor Bromit says, I'm sorry to pull you back. We got some issues. 2 issues, really. The first... There's that old man, Rory, and the grandkids that were come by on the boat looking for everything. And the second issue is I think I figured out how to deal with the gate. I think the gate's the bigger, important one, he says as he walks with you back towards the mayoral house that is functioning as the temporary town hall. With the gate, we can either just put up a big tarp, stitch together some blankets, make a crappy covering, and if anyone sees it, find some clever lie. I don't know what that is yet. And the other option, which I think is probably the better one, is we could collapse the cliff front and bury it back up, and then tunnel in towards the gate or build a structure around it after it's been covered and then uncover it from the back of the structure. But if we want it covered fast, like, those are the options. And we can't collapse the earth over the gate without, I don't think I could do that without your consent, your approval. We're in this together, two sides of the coin. What do you think?
Well, you bring up a really good point. I was in a bit of a panic when I ordered the construction. I've only been the warden for a couple of days. And I was just thinking, what's the best way I can protect this? And sometimes the first idea is the best idea because it just gets you acting. You bring up a really good point. I don't think the tarp, and I don't even think that you think the tarp is a super great idea, but it's a quick and dirty one that lets us keep access, right?
Yeah, it's quick and dirty.
Problem is, I think it's too easily compromised, right? People can get in behind it and see. It takes one person snooping around. Why is there a big cloth over here? Boom.
It creates questions, right?
A landslide, on the other hand, we have a destroyed house. That's easier to believe. That's easier to just be like, oh yeah, landslide. Yeah,
there already was a landslide, right? The two go together.
Yeah. Exactly. That's a shoulder shrug moment. However, we do then lose access to the door.
We do. And I don't know how important it is to have access to it versus how important it is to keep it hidden. Because, there's people coming here. We've had a couple folks come by, and those numbers are only going to increase as people get time to get out here. And they're going to be looking for the gods. They're not looking for the gate, right? The gate's been lost for 3,000 years or something. So I think we should collapse it. But I don't know. Creating landslides hastily is a good way to get people killed, And we can redig it out carefully once we know where it is. Eventually. I don't know. What do you think?
It's a really tough one. How long do you think the construction project will take if we continue as we are, like to build just some sort of building to cover it up?
I don't know. I think it'll probably be another week or two to get the foundation good enough to build something that's not going to fall apart, and then maybe a week to get up enough of a building that's a screen, and then probably another couple months to build out a proper building.
It'll take a while.
Yeah.
We just don't have that kind of time.
I mean, the gods have been here for a week now, and we've gotten some folks from the nearby islands, but how long until people from the cities and the towns start coming out here? I bet they're searching the lake already and just looking, right? Just like those other people that came by here were looking around and they weren't certain and they thought that it was this direction. I bet out in the rest of the lake right now is a dozen people or 100 people or 1,000 people out there doing the same thing. Not every day you get a godfall.
You're right. And I do think that collapsing the mountain. But the problem is, I've never done anything like that. Can it be done? Can we even do that safely? Can we even do it?
Dies heavily. I don't really know. Usually, my understanding is if you want to make a landslide, you need a lot of water. Right? But there's not a lot of water up on top of that mountain. So
it's not like we're going to be shoveling down dirt, shovel by shovel from the top.
We need to destabilize and collapse the whole damn thing, which is why I think it's such a dangerous job. Because you get people up there trying to destabilize the rock. When it falls, it's going to fall on them.
Yep.
I don't know how to handle it.
How bad is it if we don't cover it up? What if we just be ignorant? Like, it's some kind of old weird door. Nobody knows how to open it. It's been there forever. You know, do we take the country bumpkin approach where we're just like, we don't really understand it? But then what if the Empire comes snooping around and they love magic? Anything that smells of magic, they're all over.
Well, I think we definitely get some folks looking into it. And they might try to figure out how to open it. And then what? They figure out how to open it, then we failed, right?
Yep.
If we steal the secrets from how to open it from them before they get to open it, then it's, that's a different thing. I don't know.
Talk to me about this wooden
yeah.
tarp idea. How would, this... It's a big door. Can we even make a cloth that big?
Yeah, I mean, we'll just grab some blankets and towels and whatnot from the village, and we'll stitch it together. It'll be like the world's ugliest quilt.
And would we put a design on it? Or is it just like, oh, this is... Welcome to our town. Don't worry about that big old patch of cloth on the mountain over there.
I was just thinking a patch of cloth, but a design like, welcome to the town. Here's like the big town design up on the wall.
Ooh, that's not a bad idea. Like a banner, like we're advertising.
It just says,
welcome
to Aknara.
Aknara, home of Godfall. If only we could say that.
Wait a minute. That's fucking brilliant.
What do you mean?
We put a banner that blocks the gateway that acts as a symbol to say the gods came here. So the people come to pay respects to their gods. They see the banner. They think the banner is just a welcome sign, and no one wants to look behind it because it's just a welcome sign. And that way, we get all the...
And we could build like a little shrine in the town center where we can collect offerings.
Then
gold is gonna flow into this town.
Yeah, until some asshole from the Empire comes and takes it all away. But at least that would give us time to, it would give us cover. You're fucking right. That for your genius.
We could just be like, hey, Aknara, welcome to Godfall.
Yeah.
It's like hiding in plain sight. There's no way could this backfire? What if someone looks behind? What if they're curious?
Well, who would look behind the sign?
You're right.
It's up on
but
the
I think
hill.
this does mean we do need to have a distraction in the town. Because people are like, this is where it happened.
Oh my God.
We'd say that we say that happened on the island, but not in the town.
Wait, what happened in the island but not in the town?
Godfall. The gods coming down.
I mean, there's a fucking crater where the town hall used to be. I don't know if we can hide that, but at least, no one would climb to the back of the town and then up the landslide to look behind a big old cloth, which eventually we'll place with boards.
And if we build a memorial to the people who died in the landslide, it looks even less suspicious.
Fucking, I knew this is why. Okay, you got it, Zephyr.
Okay, let's... I assume we're in his office. I start pulling out paper and, I sketch the town and we're collaborating. I'm like, okay, so here we do a little shrine here. The people who fell on, what is Nick's character's called?
Riven.
Riven's old house will be turned into a shrine to the people who died during the Godfall calamity.
Perfect.
We put a big old tarp up. We use the money that flows into the town, whatever spare copper we can to try to trade for better materials to build a better sign, maybe actually have a construction project to get a more permanent coverage over time when the heat cools down,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Okay, so we need a temporary one as fast as possible, stitch together some blankets, slap some paint on there, real fast and then we'll build a good sign later.
I think
right?
This is the kind of harebrained scheme that works in those old stories,
Yeah. I just hope it works.
I think it's our best shot. It's our best shot.
All right, so we're going to build a sign. Build.
You're not just gassing me up. Could this be a terrible? Could this be a terrible
awful
idea?
Yeah, it could be awful.
What if it goes really badly?
Then I don't know. I also don't know how much time we have. Like, are they going to be here in a week? Are they going to be here in 3 weeks? Is it going to take a month for people to find us? Or are they going to be here tomorrow? I don't know.
You're right. We don't have time. And I snap my fingers like decisively. I'm like, Mayor, you got your order, or you got your wish. We're going to build a sign.
Okay. All right. I will organize the people in town today. I'll go around and get blankets and get some folks to stitch them together and get some paint.
We'll get the weaving going.
Yeah. Right. And what does the sign say? Welcome to...
It'll say something like, welcome to Aknara, home of Godfall. Or something.
Right, it can't say too much, right? We only got so much space. Welcome to Aknara, home of Godfall.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking like you could say, welcome to, in kind of small letters, but then Aknara, in big letters, then home of, in small letters, Godfall in big letters. I think that'll do, right? I sketch it out like, here, I'll even sketch it on the map. It's like, yeah, like doors like this, we make the sign, and it says, welcome to Aknara, home of Godfall, right? Like, you do it like that, it covers it, no one's none the wiser.
Perfect. Done.
No way it could go wrong.
Okay, I'm gonna go start on this. The other thing is that old man and the kids. They've come back, and they've made it here.
Well,
and they've seen the Godfall, and they've seen the gate. And if it's the old man, I'd say we hit him in the head and be done with it. The kids, they're young. They're too young. So I was wondering, do you need more wardens?
That's a very interesting question there. We are down, I believe, 3 wardens.
Yeah, we got another one in training. We could bring in these folks. These kids, they're young. They're probably too young to start, but instead of trying to push them out, maybe we could bring them in and be like, yes, the gods fell here. They did reveal this secret door, and it's all part of the gods' plans, and we need you to help us, defend the gods from the outside world. I know they're not from here originally. They're not Aknaran to begin with. I know we ain't got no problem doing whatever it takes to stop outsiders, but those kids are young.
I've got an idea. You've given me an idea, and don't worry about the old man. I think you're on the right path. I'm going to go talk to them. What time is it? And I'll look out the window.
The sun's up.
All right. I'll go have another chat with them.
All right. I'll go
take
get the
care
blankets.
of the tarp. I'll take care of the old man.
Perfect. The two of you split. And he'll tell you that the old man's down at the tavern with the kids.
Yeah, they're kind of being held semi-captive.
Yeah.
How many kids did the guy have? Did he have 2 kids?
Yeah.
Oh.
And you at the time I wasn't sure if he's like
wardens.
An old father with young kids or if it's like a grandfather with young kids. You're not quite sure what the relationship is. I'm sure you'll figure out how to resolve that. Anyway, you can head down to the tavern. It is not too terribly busy right now because, there's a lot of shit to do and people have been working really hard to come together here on this autumn day. Also, crops are due soon. Everything's just a shit show. So in the middle of the day, there's only a couple of folks here right now. The older or less able to be laboring physically with these tasks are around.
Or even the people who might work at night, right? Or maybe having a nice lunch beer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A couple people on lunch, a couple slackers too. Every town's got their slackers.
I walk in and I see a slacker. What's the slacker's name?
Let me just roll a d6 for their gender. The slacker's name is Mitchell.
I turn and I say, Mitchell!
Huh?
What are you doing in the bar at? I look out the window. What time of day is it?
Early mid-morning.
Mitchell, it's mid-morning. What are you doing in the bar?
Well, I'm getting a pint.
When do you, have you ever done a hard day's work in your life, Mitchell? You ever done an honest day's labor?
I dug the latrine
last week. Get up to the hill. Get up to the hill and help out the people up there, okay? We need people collecting I'm sending you to the mayor, and I want to hear that the mayor heard
Can I
from
at least
you.
finish
You
my
finish
pint?
that drink. You finish that drink, and you get out of here, and you do some honest work. Okay.
All right.
Town needs people like you to stand up and get to work, Mitchell. Now I like
Takes his
you,
pint.
Mitchell,
Oh.
but if you keep slacking, I'm not going to like you anymore.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. He downs his pint as quickly as possible, and then stumbles out of the room. And there
Good
you
job,
see
Mitch.
the old man. His name is Rory. His 2 kids or grandkids. And they came over here on his little boat, and you sent him away being like, the gods didn't show up here. And now they're back and they've seen the truth. And the guy's got the 2 kids and they're looking around, and there's a warden nearby. One of your many wardens named Treyana.
Okay.
Who is standing nearby them, just keeping an eye. Yeah, and she'll give you a nod and be like, overseer?
I'll say Triana. Triana's a lady.
Yes.
I'll say, ma'am, have you had a shift break today? You had a chance to take a break?
Well, that's only mid-morning. I just started. But if you would like a word in private, I'm happy to make myself scarce.
I'm going to have a word in private. Feel free to go and take an early lunch or get a pint or something.
Of course. And she heads off.
The
old man looks up at you.
I'll politely wave to the bartender asking for him to bring me a pint of beer.
Yep. Bartender will bring you a pint of beer.
And I'll sit down with Rory.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll do the social equivalent of like kind of sighing and taking off my glasses and cleaning them and preparing for a difficult conversation. I'll say, how's it going, Rory? How are you being treated?
Oh, I'm all right. I can see what the big fuss is, why everyone was trying to keep things quiet. It appears like there's a lot going on here.
Yep. We were kind of... You know what it's like being from a small town where nothing really happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't want people to make a fuss over us, so we were trying to tell people that the Godfall didn't happen here because... You know what? You hear stories, right? This kind of thing attracts so much unwanted attention, right? Before we know it, this place will be filled with not only Empire troops, but every Tom, Dick, and Harry who thinks he's a prophet, thinking that they can communicate with the gods. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure you're a smart man, right, Rory? Like, you can imagine how disruptive that would be to the people of this town. And now I'm the overseer, and I was just trying to keep people safe.
With all due respect, overseer, the gods have come down to this world, and the safety of this town is, well, it's its own thing. But you can't deny such a holy sight from the world. It's a universal gift.
I'll sigh. I mean, look, of course you're right. Of course you're right, but my job as an overseer isn't to care about the universal gifts. It's to care about the people of this town. The individuals, okay? How many people did we lose in the Godfall? It was at least...
It's like 20 or something. 20 or 40.
It's to care about the 20 people. It's to care about the dozens of people that lost their lives when it happened. Right? There was a landslide. You saw the crater. It hit right in the middle of town. I don't think the gods meant to do any damage to us, but... You know, when you see the center of your town vaporize before your eyes, your first thought is to protect your people, right?
Why, I can see that.
And,
But
I mean, it's just like, you know, your 2 kids here. What are their names?
this is I was about to give him a really dumb name. This is Luna, and this is Sola.
you saw something crazy happen, right? People getting hurt, bad stuff happening, and you were with Luna and Sola. I bet your first thought would be, how do I keep them from getting hurt by whatever the hell that is?
Yeah.
People of the... I mean, look at me. You know I'm a half-elf, right?
I
can't
can see
have
that.
Kids. I don't get to have kids. The people of this town are my kids. They're my family. I swore an oath to protect them. I swore an oath to all of the gods to protect them. And so I was scared about what the outside world would do to the people of this town if they found out that the Godfall happened here. You know, you get where I'm coming from?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does that mean we're your prisoners now? I've been too
Yes.
afraid to ask.
But we're not going to hurt you. Like, we're not going to kill you or do anything bad. It's just, we need to figure out what we got to do. You know, like, if more people come and the word about the Godfall gets out, you're free to go. Because that's the only reason we're keeping you, right? Is to just slow down how quickly the word gets out here so people have time to adjust. So, like...
Okay.
And I hate to do this to you. You know what I mean? Like, this is not... We're not doing this out of badness. We're doing it out of fear. I hope you can understand and forgive us for what we're doing.
Make me a charisma check. A very heartfelt sentiment, and you know, it's not a bad rationale. Let's see if the old man understands. Yeah.
Boom. 18. Plus 38. 36, sorry.
36. 18 plus 18. 36. The old man nods his head, and he's like, yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Well, a momentous event like this is surely going to stir up trouble one way or the other, and I get if you want to be a little bit more prepared. Well, as long as we're here, could we at least go pay our respects and, you know, pray at the side of the crater? We walked right by it.
I'll nod and I'll say I'll leave instructions to the people who are guarding you to allow you to visit the Godfall location and pray a reasonable number of times per day, per week, etc.
Per week? How long do you think we're going to be here as prisoners?
I don't have an exact number. And that was going to be the next thing I was going to talk to you about. So long as you're here, you know, tell me about where you came from. Because...
Well, Hunter's Bay is just, you know, the next island over. I'm sure you've been around. There are those little large rocks in the water, and if you follow them even on a foggy day, you can get to Hunter's Bay, right, next island over to the west. It's small little place, you know, maybe a quarter the size of Aknara. There's really only one good landing spot. That's Hunter's Bay itself. That's a little town, just kind of like a little cove with buildings built up to it, and a little creek that leads up to the mainland where we got some goats and whatnot. But you know what? We're a real small little place. I don't know how many people live in Aknara, but you know, it's probably 10 times as many as we got. And
how many people you got? Just these kids?
Just here with me, yeah. Well, their mom, my daughter-in-law, she's back in Hunter's Bay. My son, he went on the lake one day a couple of years back and didn't come back. So
that's gonna be hard for the mom. With you guys being missing for a while, right?
I told her we were going out to find where the gods came, and it might take us a little while. But I sure would love to get word back to her so, the rest of her family doesn't just go missing on her.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I needed to know that. Because I was going to suggest that you guys, if you didn't have any ties back where you lived, I was going to suggest you guys could integrate a little bit more here, You could join us.
You mean, like, move here?
Absolutely. I was going to say, well, look, you know the secret that we were trying to protect. And I know that you're not a bad person. And I know you got 2 fine kids right there. And, we lost a lot of people. And we could use more good people in this town. So I was going to offer you to join us.
I sure appreciate the offer, but I'm too old to work. I can row a boat around, but I can't do it for long. And my knees ain't... I mean, I can still do some things, but starting fresh... I ain't got no land. I ain't got no house out here. I don't even know how I'm going to keep feeding the kids at this inn.
Don't worry. While you are here against your will, and even while you're here with your will, you'll be fed on my coin. We're not savages. We're not here to starve you. You'll be fed and you'll be cared for, on my orders. But basically, I was going to make you an offer. Two kids there, and yourself, and the mother could come and join the town. And say, you know what? Hey, we want to live in the Godfall, the place for the Godfall, because things are happening out here. We want to be closer to the gods. And we'd build you a house. We'd set you up with a bit of land. I need 2 wardens. You got 2 fine young children over there that could be trained up to protect the land. Wardening, it's pretty straightforward. Just like being a ranger. You walk out into the wilderness. You take note of the animals and activities, and you come back and you share reports. It's like being a scout.
Ain't it dangerous?
Didn't used to be. Warden hasn't died on duty in violence for hundreds of years. Only been dangerous of late.
Okay.
But we got an advantage.
You mind if I think on it for a little while? Or do you need an answer right now?
I don't need an answer right now. But if I tell you about the advantage... that we have over the wilderness... I'm not sure I can let you go.
What advantage? Wait. I think I'm not understanding something here. There's something else going on?
Are you sure you want to know?
He shifts uncomfortably in his seat. He looks at you and goes, well, these are big days happening. Big things are going on. Gods are coming down to walk among us. I think I'd rather die knowing the truth than live believing a lie.
I was standing there where the gods fell. And me and a couple of other people were the only people who didn't die. And in fact, not only did we not die, something weird happened to us. The day after the gods fell, we started getting magical powers. And I'll give him an example. I'm trying to pull up my spell list here real quick. Malchus spell list. Now I'm going to do something that you're not going to like, but I'm going to stop doing it too. and I'm going to cast Stressor on him.
So he must be under some form of stress that you amplify. So what sort of stress do you think he's under that you want to,
I think this conversation is very stressful. And so I'm going to look at him. Let me see. Let me just read this really quick. This may not result in any specific action. Common stresses include sun intensity, temperatures, thirst, hunger, mosquito buzzing, chafing of equipment blusters, poor conversationalist, itching, bright light, injured. I think that this conversation would fit into that category. Like, I'm gonna like he's uncomfortable with me, so I'm gonna amplifying a stress that's not particularly has little effect. And a stress already significantly may cause behavioral changes.
Right. So what if you're imagining what he's under? Like, how would you qualify the distress he's under? Like, is it like pressures from people in power? Is it like being held captive? Like, how would you name?
He is scared of what I'm going to say and what I've told him. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stare him in the eyes, and underneath the table, I'm going to be gesticulating to enhance the power of the stressor.
Okay, like this sense of impending doom of like things are getting bad.
Yeah, I'm going to hit him with that.
Yeah. So he sits there and he's looking at you and you're like, I'm going to do this thing. And he's watching you and you kind of you keep the gesticulation going under the table and you're looking at him and you can see him begin to like look at the kids and start to look around the rest of the room and he starts saying like, what is it? You just keep looking at him and you can start to see a little bit of sweat breaking out on him and his jitter, he starts to move a little uncomfortably and he sits like a little closer to the kids, putting his back to them like, ma'am, Miss Overseer,
I say
what's
nothing
happening?
And I continue to just stare at him and gesticulate.
Yeah, he starts to like sweat bullets after, a couple minutes pass at this point, and you can see that his knuckles are whitening on the table. You know when you're in the dentist chair and they're like scraping at your teeth and your body like unconsciously tightens and you have to like remember to loosen up? It's that sort of like unconscious tightening of his muscles and his body as he's watching you, and just like the stress is building in his system.
And I'll take my hand above the table and I'll snap my fingers and I'll stop doing it. I'll say, it's okay. That was me doing it.
The hell? What was that? Who was that? What the? And he relaxes a little bit, but also, he's never been enchanted before. He starts to shake off this sense of doom that's been feeding through him.
I'll explain.
What God?
I'll say to him,
what God?
That was one of magical powers that Malchus gave me. That was one of the divine blessings that Malchus gave me, the ability to enhance stress in people.
You saw him. You saw him yourself.
I lean forward, right, on my elbow, and I speak very low, and I say, I didn't just see him. He winked at me. Like a mischievous rogue, the god of change and chaos, winked at me and gave me powers. And that's the advantage we have. These kids will never be sent out into the wilderness. They'll only ever be asked to keep the town safe and call me and the other 3 boys who got magic powers to deal with any monster.
Nods his head repeatedly. So Malchus came down.
And Martha.
The other 2? Astaire and Verossi?
There's only 2 of them. Didn't see Astaire and Verossi.
2 gods.
I've looked on the face
once.
of a god. Martha was like, your mom still alive?
He shakes his head.
You know when you think of her?
Mm-hmm.
And you think of her from back when you were a kid?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, God, I love my mommy, she looks after me, she takes care of me. I don't know if you had a good mommy, but looking at Martha was kind of like looking at my mom. I just felt safe. Felt like everything was going to be all right. Malchus, on the other hand, I felt like he was going to steal my wallet.
Well, if I ever heard a description of the gods that matched my expectations, that would be it. Where am I, man? And he gets out of the booth that he's sitting in, and he drops down to his two knees in front of you, and like puts his head on the ground at your feet, and goes, "Forgive me. I didn't know I was talking to a real life cleric, a real servant of the gods."
I don't need you to worship me. But I appreciate the regular respect. And I will respect you equally. All I ask is that you promise me never to tell anyone this information. I want you to swear an oath to me that you won't tell people unless they already know. So you won't tell people from where you come. So when we send you home, you won't tell people unless they've already heard about it.
He gets up, he grabs the knife off of his plate that he was eating, and puts a little slash down on his palm, holds out his bloodied hand to show you that it's truly bleeding, then places it over his heart. I'm over here. And he'll say to you, I swear by the land Malchus and Martha both set foot upon, that I will share these secrets with no one who does not already know them.
Thank you. Your oath is accepted. And let me take care of that hand.
Mm-hmm. He holds out his hand, confused.
I will cast Treat Wounds.
Perfect.
Which I think he didn't really take damage, but it should be enough to heal it.
Yep. Treat Wounds is nice and slow, so you'll stand here for a few moments, maybe a couple of minutes as the wound knits over before his eyes, and sure enough, it is healed. And the blisters, because he's been rowing for days, the little blisters on his hands begin to fade away as well. When it's all done, he immediately turns back to the kids who have watched this whole thing happen and show them the injuries on his hand and talk to them about, like, I told you we were going to go see the gods. Didn't I say so? Oh, kids, this is it. This is the days we've been praying for, where the gods are going to come and set everything right that's wrong with this world. And it's going to be a brand new age. And it's going to be hard as the age comes. But if you put your head together and you work hard here on this island, well, hell, maybe you could be a cleric too one day. You just got to keep He proceeds to grandfather the children for a while.
I'll interrupt Rory after a moment or two, and I'll say, Rory, permission to speak directly to your two grandkids there?
Of course, Your Highness.
Just Overseer will do. You're one of us now.
Of course, Overseer.
At least until it's safe to send you home.
Yes, your Overseerness.
Just Overseer. I'll take out a piece of paper. I'll start writing. I'll write down, like, Rory. Rory, how old are you?
Well, I'm 73.
All right, 73. Okay, got it. You were born in, what was it, Horn Bluff? What was it called again?
Hunter's Bay.
Hunter's Bay. All right, I write that down. And which one of you is the older grandchild?
Sola, the young boy, raises his hand. Me.
I type it down and I say, Sola, how old are you?
11.
11. Damn, I thought he was like 15.
I don't remember what age I initially said them at. I'm kind of winging it, hoping that 11 and 9
11
match.
is good. 11. All right, Sola. Sola, would you be interested in becoming a warden?
That's
you can
like
change
you,
your mind
right?
later. That's right. I'm a warden.
He nods his head enthusiastically.
All right, perfect. Is there another job that you'd maybe like to do? What do your mom and grandpappy do back at home?
My mom's a goat herder.
Oh, that's brilliant. I think we need some of those. I'll write that down, goat herder. You got some experience herding the goats?
Of course. I'm a good shepherd, up and coming. I'm good with the dogs.
I'm a shepherd too. That's my second name. I'm Zephyr Shepherd. I'll reach out my hand and I'll say, "Nice to meet you, Sola."
It beams with like, oh, this is what I could be one day. Oh, it's just like me. She's just like me.
Oh my god. So I'll shake his hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'll write down a couple of details. Solus, shepherd, wants to be a warden, is interested, and I'll turn to the younger child. Is the younger child a woman? A girl?
Luna, yeah, female Luna, 9 years old.
I'll turn to Luna. I'll say, "How's it going, Luna? Would you also like to be a warden?"
Yes, she says, also beaming because you're, exactly who she could be one day if she worked hard.
I write down, yeah, she wants to be a warden. I'll say, Luna, you helping out with the goat herding too?
Well, Mom says I'm not old enough to do that yet, so I just do dishes and sweep.
Yeah, well,
so
when you're old enough, you can do whatever you want in this town. We got a lot of people in here who've got good skills and need apprentices. But for now, you got to do growing up, which means getting smarter and staying out of trouble and growing strong.
She nods.
That's it. And then I'll write down, like, are there any other members of your family that you would like to try and convince to join us?
Rory says, well, everyone in Hunter's Bay is related to everyone eventually, their mom, my daughter-in-law, she's got siblings and she's got some parents who are still around, and her siblings got kids. Start inviting the family. It'll be the whole town eventually.
How about this? We'll start with Mom, and when things calm down, you guys can visit and even move back there off whenever you want, once things get back to normal. I'm trying to remember, out of character here, did the party go to Hunter's Bay? Is that where they went?
That's where they went.
That's where they went, okay. So, once they're back from Hunter's Bay, I sent a couple of people out to Hunter's Bay on a mission. Once they're back, we'll have news from the town. I think they were even sent with a message for your mom. Were they?
No.
Okay. Never mind. We'll get word to her. We'll let her know that you're safe. And we'll let her know that she can come as well. But we would ask all of you guys to stay here, at least until the wider world has heard about the stuff that's gone on here. We are trying to keep it quiet. And sometimes the best way to keep something quiet is to let people know how important it is to keep it quiet and let them know what's happening, right? Because I could have kept you here in the dark and I would have accomplished my objective all the same,
Mm-hmm.
You would have no idea. But I want you to understand that I'm not keeping you here prisoner because I have a grudge against you or you did something wrong. It's because I'm just trying to protect my people. And now that you're one of my people, I'm trying to protect you too. And Hunter's Bay, that's a place I'm trying to protect too. I'm trying to protect everyone who lives on these islands because we're all small town people, and that big empire's got a really big boot. It wants to step on all of us.
Okay. They accept these proposals. They're happy to stay here. You've made a good impression. The kids are, when they realize that you're also a shepherd, I don't think they necessarily know that you don't do shepherding. But when they made that connection, it became very clear to them that, like, she's one of us. She's one of us. This is my people, actually. And the old man, once he found out that you're literally blessed by the gods and channel their divine might, he immediately hopped on the bandwagon.
Perfect. Gotta love, using religion as that angle.
That's why you got to watch out for aliens, man. They're going to start off with a religion as part of their invasion, and we're all going to fall for it. And they're going to take us over.
Also, I loved that we both started using our country bumpkin voice.
What do you mean? This voice?
Well, listen, those big town folk, they want to... Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that went. I think telling people the truth, like people who are good, because I don't think an old man with 2 grandkids, that's not a person with evil in his heart, you know?
Yeah.
And I think letting him know what is going on, he'll understand why things are important and that I'm not trying to hurt him. And he's way more likely to be cooperative and not try to escape. So I think, you catch more flies with, what is it? With more
honey? Catch more highs
honey
with
than
funny
salt?
than vinegar?
I think it's you catch more flies with sugar or honey than vinegar, something like that.
Honey than vinegar.
I think you're right.
Vinegar, yeah.
I've heard sugar and salt. I could be wrong.
These sayings. There's a lot of them. There's an old XKCD about catching more flies with honey than vinegar. Then it turns out it's not actually true because flies are attracted to vinegar. But it's one of those things that you say, and I don't know how truthful XKCD is. I wouldn't take it as real science, but Randall Road does a good job usually. Okay.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that interaction went.
Good.
I don't know if it perfectly solved things, but it bought us time, and that's really all I'm doing. It's buying us time.
I mean, it's been a week. It's been like a week and a day since the gods landed on the earth and people died, and it's been chaos, right? So any sort of delaying action, any sort of time that you can buy is fantastic. Right, so you step outside, you see all these blankets being stitched together, you see the thing coming together. It's probably time for lunch by now. Mm-hmm.
I'm on a super high. I've just knocked 2 problems out of the park. Not only am I a god, I'm a god chosen.
Mm.
Time for a little celebration. I'll get myself a little celebratory beer.
Yeah.
A little takeaway mug.
Yeah, and you know what? You've got other duties to attend to. There's other wardens who are doing patrols. Someone comes back saying they've seen 2 goblins up on the mountain ridge. They weren't up on the ridge. They were, maybe 45 minutes out of town on the north side, and they looked up and they saw what looked like a pair of goblins walking up on that ridge, and they come back and they're like, well, should we do something about it? And some other wardens are coming back in saying everything to the south looks nice and clear, and everyone's just doing your normal intelligence collecting, sitting and holding court, taking in information. What do you want to do about the sighting of 2 goblins on the mountain ridge?
For the sighting of 2 goblins,
yeah,
I think I'm going to say it's a little bit too dangerous for us to investigate that at the moment, when we're so undermanned with several of our wardens away on duties. But I think what we will do is keep an eye out for them, set a vigilant watch to the north and to the ridge above the town, as well as let me hide my lines, because I like to do that. Can you see my lines? I'm doing them right now.
Yeah, I see. It's fine. I can see your lines, but the viewers cannot see your lines because the DM sees everything.
Okay. It helps me think if I doodle with lines.
I understand. I doodle with lines all the time too, and I usually have it set so the players can't see it, and then I just click lines around and draw shapes. Yeah.
Got it. I'll try to do it off in the corner.
Don't worry about it. You do whatever you need to do. It'll be fine.
So yeah, I'll say basically, let's keep a good watch on that area. I might ride out to investigate it depending on what the duties are.
Yeah. Well, you can see that the ridge where they were spotted is up here, and to get there, is going to be a few miles this way, and then a few miles. It's 6 miles away, even though it's just up above you. Just the route to get there takes fucking forever. So
I'll maybe, if there's nothing going on, I'll maybe take a horse out. And I'll just see if I can see the goblins. And then I'll also instruct people hey, look out for fires at night, because the goblins might start fires to keep them warm or whatever. And then we'll keep a vigilant night watch.
All right. So you're collecting information. You're waiting to see what's going on, thinking about going to check out those goblins. There's an old nag somewhere that you could probably ride to try and get there a little bit faster. All the horses
I'm riding the horse out to about halfway, and I'm just scouting the ridge, just to I'm going to have to have a look myself,
Okay. Yeah, let me take a little die roll here as you head out in the early afternoon. Get some fun forest time vibes going on. Yeah. It's November, so it's late autumn. I guess it's mid-autumn for us right now, actually. Harvests are going to be coming in pretty soon. The weather's nice. It's not too windy. It's also like nice and cool. You know, you can hike outside or you can go around outside without like getting drenched in sweat and overheating. It's that like perfect time of year temperature. You get out on the horse, you go a mile or two out of town and start taking a look, looking for a good spot on the ridge. And in the first, the ride out there and hanging around at a good spot for 20 minutes or so, you don't see any goblin activity. It's a big mountain range. You can only see small sections of it. You can't see what's beyond any of the rocks or on any backsides, or if they're small or low to the ground, it might be difficult to see them. There's some tree cover up there from place to place. But yeah, your first mile out of town, and then some looking around. I guess probably a mile and a quarter out of town, and then looking around. No sign of goblins.
I don't spot them at all.
No.
Not even signs of them, like construction or camps or anything?
No, you don't see anything up on the ridge that looks like anything at all. Maybe this person saw something that I thought was goblins, and it's not. Maybe they were just walking from one place to another. But from down here, without going up into the mountains by yourself, no signs.
Okay, let me think about this. I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm a half-elf. I've got really good night vision compared to other people. So I didn't spot the goblins. Rather than taking risks out here on my own, I'm going to head back. I didn't see nothing. I took a little peek. Didn't find nothing. Didn't see nothing. I'm going to head back, and I will rest early so that I can be fully energized for a night watch. And I'll take the night watch tonight.
That's the plan. But we have a complication that arises. As you get back from your little ride, we're entering into the early afternoon, approaching mid-afternoon, and there's a boat headed toward Aknara. It's the same boat that the rest of the party left on earlier this morning.
Oh.
And it's coming back.
Uh-oh. I ride out to the church lighthouse to see if I can get a better look.
Yeah.
This area. I ride out down here to see if I can get I don't know if the church has a tower that I'm trying to see what the hell? These guys are on their way back already?
Yeah. From the church, you can see it's just one man rowing the boat. Conveniently or inconveniently, this guy is also called Rory. It's a common name in the area. And he's rowing his boat back to Aknara with no one else in it.
What happened to the party? Are they dead?
Told you we needed to play a session soon.
Did they send a boat for me to come join them because they found something? I pray to all of the gods, and I pray that my friends are okay.
Well, the boat
I pray for the entire time as the boat is coming in, and I'm praying over and over.
Makes landfall, and Rory gets on out, and he's looking for you immediately. But I think you're going down to meet him.
I would have made way down to him, but I would have prayed up until he was close enough.
Yeah, he gets out of the boat, kind of tired from rowing, because he rowed all the way out and he rowed all the way back in the same day. He's
And I'm tense,
tired.
dude.
Boss,
Rory?
bad news, boss.
What do you mean
Everyone's
bad
dead.
news? What do you mean everyone's dead? What happened?
The whole population of Hunter's Bay is dead. Every last one of them. There ain't a survivor left in Hunter's Bay.
What happened? Everyone's dead? What happened?
We got there, we started looking around, and it was just bodies. I stayed in the boat out in the harbor, and they walked around, and they just found corpses, skeletons everywhere. Mostly in the houses, only a few out in the streets. And then they went into a cave, and they said there was some stuff in the cave. And then when they were in the cave, she arrived. Selma Tailwind, one of the assistants to Corbin Krellis, the censor, the Verasi censor, out in Rhodia. She showed up with a whole bunch of humans and orcs, warriors, soldiers, I don't know what. Started asking questions, and that new warden, what's his face? Elijah. Oh, that Elijah. He told her everything. He gave her the keys to the treasury in Hunter's Bay that they had found. He told her what they saw. He told her about the slimes and the crystals in the cave. He told her he just handed over all the information. He didn't say anything about the gods. He didn't say anything about, well, I don't remember if he said he just capitulated and started working with her. And she left behind a bunch of orcs and soldiers to keep an eye on the cave that they found that had these weird drawings and crystals in it. And then Selma, she's coming here today. I got out before she did. She was still doing some stuff around the area, setting up a camp for the rest of her soldiers, but she's coming here with, I don't know, 20 troops? She'll be here in an hour at least, at most. I rode as hard as I could to get here, boss. The others, Elijah, Cedric, Riven, they're all back on Hunter's Bay looking for more clues. But they sent me here as quickly as possible.
I start letting out like deep breaths, and I was like, when you said everyone was dead, I thought you meant Elijah and Riven and Cedric?
Yeah, Cedric, yeah. That's the name.
And Cedric.
Oh, no. I think they're all fine.
That conversation, what you just told me, was like sailing through a goddamn hurricane. My heart is pounding. I think in future, when you're sharing information, I don't think you should start your story with everyone is dead. Jesus Christ, Rory.
Sorry, boss. Sorry. But Selma Tailwind, assistant to the censor, Corbin Krellis, she's coming here today.
Okay. We need to act fast. Thank you for bringing this information. Get rested. Get healed up.
I told him I'd go back for him tomorrow. I can't make another trip back today, but I'll head back tomorrow in the morning.
I'll go with you tomorrow. Depending on how things go with this Selma lady. Get yourself rested. Might even be able to get you someone to help you row.
He finishes dragging the boat up onto the sand and then trudges back towards his house to rest and relax.
I give him a little bless. I don't know if that makes him feel better.
Oh. It'll give him a bonus on his next saving throw or skill check.
Oh.
Excellent.
Hey, you never know when that's going to happen, right?
You never know. Yeah.
Can I just throw out blesses, or does that take spell slots?
No. You can bless as many people as you want. It takes one round to do it, and it gives them a +1 bonus on whatever their next saving throw or stat check is. You can't save it. It happens automatically.
Then I just want to be clear. I'm fucking blessing everyone who's up to take it.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes a minute a person. So, if you want to bless 60 people, it'll take you an hour, but totally doable. You could have a little stall and just hand out blessings all day long.
Well, what I'll do is, like, when I'm giving people instructions to add a bit of gravitas to it, I'll say, now let's pray for your success on this mission. And I'll give them a little blessing, and they'll feel the holy light of Malchus rippling through their veins.
Now, if you do this in the presence of the gods, like a consecrated area or a temple, it's not a +1 bonus, it's a +2 bonus. And if you also use holy oil while in a temple, it becomes a +3 bonus. So holy oil is a little expensive. You don't have a supply of it around. But in theory, this can be modified up and down a little bit.
Okay, so and people will get to keep it for
a number of days equal to your level. You're level 1. So right now it just lasts for 24 hours.
I'm not. I guess I'm doing it for people who are like, oh, I have to go do this thing, or like go in peace. Here's a blessing. I probably won't be handing them out. I guess it's not that valuable. But like if people who are working on the scaffolding, I'll give them like that because that +1, that's a 5% chance to not fucking die on a construction site.
Yes.
For a day. But I'll be blessing people. I'll probably dedicate like half an hour to blessing people every day. Minimum. And then if I'm bumping into people who need a bit of a pick me up, I'll give them a blessing, and that might using it both as a tool to enhance the town stat rolls, but also as a roleplay tool to make people feel better, so they feel like, okay, right, we've got the gods on our side. We've got a cleric. He's looking after us.
Perfect.
All right. So, in light of this news, I have 2 huge objectives. We need to get that tarp up ASAP, and we need to hide the old man and the 2 kids.
Oh. Well, which one is the more pressing of the 2?
Oh, the tarp.
Well, there's not much time before Selma Tailwind arrives. So, let's do it. The tarp, you can head back into town, and you can see that they're mostly done stitching it together, but no one's painted the big old words across it yet. The mayor has procured a bucket of wet white paint, which is maybe not the nicest, but it's what you got on hand, what's easily findable.
How much? I turn to the mayor and say, how long is this going to take, do you think?
Oh, no. A couple more hours? Should have it done before sundown.
We've got 1.
Why? What's going on?
Imperial just got word from Rory, our Rory, that there's a did he say Inquisitor? Someone from the Empire is on the way. They're going to be here in about an hour.
Gods damn it.
I think we get the word Godfall up on that sign, and we get it up as fast as possible. Never mind Aknara.
All right. He walks over to everyone's like, whatever you got done now has got to be good enough. We'll fix it later. In fact, we'll probably need it. Everyone, we're going to have to make another one the right way around. We're just going to put this one up now. So, you, Godfall. Big letters across the whole fucking thing. The rest of you, whatever blankets that you can find in town, horse blankets, whatever you got, bring them around. We're going to do a second round tonight. And then he'll just grab after someone paints the word God's Fall on it, they will take the edges of the blanket and keep it nice and taut so that, the paint doesn't smush against each other. And they'll carry it through the town carefully and up to the back of the wall, which, is not the closest place. By the time they're getting over there and people are like beginning to go up the scaffolding, you can see the boat from that mountain edge coming in your direction. Yeah, its sail is up, the oars are in the water, and it's rowing this way.
I make my way, I say, I give one blessing to, one last person for a minute, and then I make my way down to the beach, ready to meet Selma.
All right. Arriving down on the beach, this nice boat. way nicer than the little boats over here. It's got a proper mast. It's got proper decking for multiple floors. It could hold maybe 50 people, or if you didn't hold that much people, like tons of cargo. And it'll anchor itself out in the waters just off the edge of the coast here. Just like right over here-ish. Actually, probably out here-ish. And then they'll deploy some longboats off the sides. And the first folks in the longboats aren't humans, they are orcs. And the people in the town, they can see this, and some folks are coming on this second road back here, far enough away that if something goes wrong, they can run. No one wants to get too close.
I'll have my wardens behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Any of them that are around, and I'll give them instructions specifically, if things go bad.
2 around that are just available at this moment. The rest are probably out doing something.
I give them instructions to head back to the crowd behind me, and I say, if things go bad, get as many people as you can out.
Okay. And coming ashore is a pack of 8 orcs. And they will make landfall at the beach. And the first one has just a nice 2-hand battle axe, no shields. He's got some armor on his shoulders, a little cap, like a leather breastplate. He's lightly armored, heavily armed, so he can move quickly. And the first orc walks up to you with his dark green leather skin and a couple of tusks coming out and his
How
narrow
close does he get to me?
eyes. He'll walk up to 10 feet away, not combat range, but close enough that you can smell the rank breath coming off of him.
And I'll say, that's close enough for comfort there, orc. What business do you have here?
I'm not taking orders from the likes of some island-dwelling, pointy-eared freak face. We here's empire men, and you ain't got nothing to do but bend the knee. So bend it.
I give him a big smile and I say, oh, that wasn't an order, orc. That was a warning. You're not in the Empire right now. This is my town.
He grins. You're looking for a fight, and steps forward from the rest of the orcs who, traditionally, if your buddy is about to get into a fight, you let him get into a fight. This is one of these social proving moments between orcs. They're not, like if you and your buddies are out getting a beer and someone picks a fight with your friend, you're liable to join your friend and back him up because you're a team, because humans are lawful, organized creatures. Orcs are a little bit more like, let me show off to everyone else. Let me prove my worth. So when the one guy steps forward after this little bit of banter, the others all step back and look around like, oh, this is going to be great if they fight. Yeah.
I'll say, well, I wasn't, but now I am. I'll reach into my pocket and I'll take out a silver coin, and I'll toss it on the ground, and I'll say, 1 silver if I win. Like, any takers of that bet? And I jingle my coin purse.
The other orcs kind of hoot at this, and one of them from the back line will say, if you lose, we'll just take it all anyway.
Oh, I'm not going to lose. And I draw my weapon.
The orc in front of you with the 2-handed axe looks like he's having the best day of his life, and he squares off. I think unless an outside presence intervenes, the two of you are about to fight, or are you going to intervene?
I'll say, first blood or to the death?
It's going to be the same thing when I take your head off with a single swing of my axe.
Looking at this orc, do I think, my years of knowledge playing D&D, could this orc one-shot me? Is he big and proper? Like, does this look like a high-level orc, or does this look like a goon?
This looks like standard infantry, standard, orc guy. He's probably got 1, maybe 2 hit dice, plus 0 to maybe plus 1, maybe plus 2 to hit. That 2-handed axe he's wielding, though, does do D10 damage. So if he lands any hit and he rolls well, it could bring you down. But you've got high AC. You've got 17 AC with your shield and your armor. And he's only got 12.
This is such a stupid risk, but I like what he's got like a what? Like a 25% chance to actually hit me, and then he's got like a fucking 50% chance not to kill me. So he's got a 12.5% chance to just insta-kill me the first time he hits me. Whereas I have like a fucking 40% chance to hit him. I don't do as much damage.
Yeah. Is it
I
a
don't
risk?
think this is worth the risk.
Okay. What do you do? How do you defuse the situation?
I put my sword away and I start laughing. I've always liked orcs. All right, let's get a beer. I kneel before him and I say, I knew you were the right kind of folk to be coming over here. And I turn to the warden and say, get us some beer.
Marking down XP for saving the party by not fighting the orcs. Good job. The wardens behind you will hurry off, and the orc in front of you lowers his axe and goes, well, I guess I'll leave you for Selma then. Now, who's in charge here?
You're speaking to the person in charge here.
Good. And the orc will nod to the person on the boat and wave his hand towards the big boat that's hanging out in the water, the ship. He says, well, why don't you wait right here, pretty elf girl? Selma's going to come and she's got a talking to you. But before she gets here, you tell me where them gods fell, where them gods stepped foot on this island. You got it on good authority. This is where it is.
I turn around and I kind of point to the vaguely crater-shaped hole in the island and I say, well, we used to have a town hall there.
He waves to 3 others, and the 4 of them will start heading into town to take a look at it, while the other 4 stay on the beach with you. And a little bit
later, hey, don't break nothing.
The warden will come back with some beer, and the boat will arrive a second time, this time with Selma Tailwind and a couple of humans. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So it's Selma Tailwind, which is this chick right here. 7 human guards and 8 orcs. And they come on in like they own the place.
While she's on her way, I'd like to take a moment to, if there's still a warden behind me, if there's still anyone, I'll
there's
take
one
some
behind you.
time to talk to them. I want to get a message to the town. It's like, while they're here, don't start any trouble. Just be subservient. The goal is to try to keep the town safe. We don't want any trouble. Don't cause trouble. We can't fight this.
Got it. That's an easy answer, an easy thing for people to comply to, because orcs are mean, right? These are the sorts of, if you fight a person and you surrender, like a person will likely wander off and, accept your surrender. Orcs often
An orc
fight,
will kill you for fun.
Yeah, they enjoy it. And they, so it's oftentimes a little bit easier to just submit. On the other hand, once you start fighting orcs, there's no point in ever surrendering to them. They're very polarizing.
That was the calculation I did in my head. Like, even if he hits me once and I don't die, I don't think he would accept my surrender.
Yeah. Well, the word gets spread. Selma Tailwind will make landfall, wade through the water, come up to the beach, and looks at you and goes, before you get I don't know, maybe you interrupt her, but she pulls out, like she unslings her backpack a little bit, rifles through it, pulls out a small...
My name's Overseer Zephyr Shepherd. Here, your name is Selma?
She waits until she finds her book spot, leaving you hanging. I don't know how awkward that is for you. I don't know if you want to interrupt her or not.
Casting a spell, Selma? What's the
Right. You, I have heard, are the new overseer here.
That's right.
The former overseer's name was
Well, that would be my grandfather.
Theodore.
That's correct. You know a lot about our island. You must be getting those intelligent reports.
Indeed. Indeed, I have been. I've also gotten a report from some of your agents, the next town over, that the gods made landfall here.
That's right, just up over there, and I'll thumb over my shoulder. In fact, town is trying to maybe put together a shrine so that we can, serve the wider community, so people can come here and worship it where the gods touch down. And we want to put up a sign to say, welcome to Godfall. We were thinking of renaming the town. It is Aknara, but I think Godfall might be a more appropriate name these days.
She looks at the cloth that's being hung up on the mountainside with the word Godfall written across it, and goes, uh-huh.
Yeah, I figured, look, we lost, a few dozen people in the Godfall, and, well, look, this town hasn't had exactly what I would call a booming economy. A crater where a god touched down, that might be, it might be a godsend. I'll give a little chuckle.
Nods. I met one of your boys, a Mr. Evans.
Evans. Is that the Empire guy? Kind of timid, spills his guts, tells you everything. Really awkward, kind of jittery.
Wet noodle, yeah.
Wet noodle, yeah. I love me a good wet noodle, and I'll give her a wink.
Okay. I didn't know if that was what should I expect from the rest of you all, or if that was an unusual person. He said he was from Justar's Bay, but you don't sound like you're from Justar's Bay. You don't look like you're from Justar's Bay. No, ma'am,
I'm born and raised here in Aknara. You're standing on the beautiful clay that I was born in and that I'll die in.
Okay. Well, I am Selma Tailwind, assistant to Corbid Krellis, the censor who rules all of Ferodia in the name of Oris, the four generals, and Varasi herself. Are we going to have any problems? I'd like to get them out of the way now, if that's the case.
Oh, I had some fun with your orcs. I don't think we're going to have any problems. Excellent. I don't get, they don't give me any greenskins. But
give me a quick charisma check before you keep going.
Okay. Shabam.
Oh my God.
37.
Yeah, you can see her, immediately not let down her guard, but focus her attention elsewhere, as if okay, this is a known quantity. I don't have to worry about this. And then go ahead.
Oh, no, I'll let her talk if she's going to say something.
Yeah. No, she points and says, excellent. Well, Mrs. Do you have a last name, Mrs.?
Shepherd, but you can call me either Overseer or, well, I guess we could be friends, right? You're not here to cause trouble either, I hope. We're a small town and we don't want trouble.
No, we only cause trouble if people get in our way. In the meantime, we have no interest in
Me too. There's a few unruly goblins up in the woods. That's the only thing that'll cause you any trouble. Matter of fact, actually, goblins. I don't know if you could spare a soldier or two.
Goblins.
We could maybe clear out some of those. Yeah, they started appearing out of nowhere. It was real weird. We got creatures coming up from the sea. The town has been under siege, actually. I'm really glad you guys are here. We need a couple of hard soldiers.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's like some kind of apocalyptic prophecy. It's real scary.
Do you know when the goblins first arrived?
I'll let out a big whistle and say, it's hard to say, man. The last week has been real hectic. I can check my journal for you.
Please, you can check it a little bit later. These creatures from the sea, if you need time to collect your notes, I would love to debrief you over them. I would love to know about all these creatures. We've had many sightings.
I've even heard. What have you seen? I've been hearing crazy stories about monsters appearing and killing people, tearing away, stealing their boats, doing all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yes, that checks.
Could you give me some intel? You know, we're kind of out here on our own. We don't. I mean, like I know. Maybe you got something you got to do right now, but maybe we could over dinner we could have a chat. No, if
over
you're free.
Dinner sounds good. I'll give you time to collect your notes, and I'll let you know.
I mean, like
I'm
not saying that like, you know, it's a date or anything, but like we could get dinner.
Rolling her sexual orientation real quick. Okay, cool. She, waves off the date comment and goes, I would love to speak with you about the things that you've seen, but first I need to let eyes upon this space where the gods landed. Is it here?
Absolutely. If you'd like to accompany me, I'll bring you up to it.
She walks with you to, just a little bit over to the hole in the ground, and then she says, stand back, please. And she stretches out her arms. Then she's not wearing any armor.
I'm super paying attention to everything she's doing.
She begins chanting some words and drawing some shapes in the air.
Can I get even the slightest inkling as to what she's doing?
She's casting a spell.
Okay.
But beyond that, she's a different sort of spellcaster. You're not really sure what this is. It doesn't look like the way that you make magic happen at all. For you, it's very intuitive. You might need to say some words for some of your chants, or you might need to make some gestures, but your gestures are more like, I'm dealing with you, so I'm just sort of focusing on you. This is more like intricate. I need to draw this shape in the air and then add this flourish, and the pronunciation of her words, it sounds like it has to be this exact sound. Whereas you, you could chant in any of 7 different languages and the magic would work, because it's not about the words it's not about the sounds you're saying, it's about the meaning behind your words. So it's, apples and oranges for magic. She casts a spell, and then she sort of looks around and feels with her hands, and she seems really drawn to this crater. And after 2 minutes passes, she nods and looks up and goes, well, this is it. It radiates an enormous amount of magic.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes when I stand in there, I can, I feel like I can feel it.
You can? And she immediately, without waiting for a response, begins to scamper down into the crater. While she scampers down, her back will be to you, and she is climbing down. It would be an easy opportunity attack if you wanted to just...
so tempting. You have no idea. There's fucking 15 giga orcs and humans in this town right now. I ain't stabbing nobody in the back. As tempting as you make me want to torpedo this campaign, Neil.
It's just, you got to give people an opportunity.
You know me. You know me too well that I want to do this. This is fucked up that you would offer me this. This is like, I'm like an alcoholic and you handed me a whiskey, okay?
And yet you put it down twice.
I fucking put it down.
Just getting sober. She feels around. She looks around. She digs up some ground in the bottom. And
I call down to her and I'll say, can you feel it? The presence of the gods smiling down on you.
I can't. Thought it would be stronger.
Close your eyes and pray.
Looks at you suspiciously. Give me another charisma check.
29.
She will sit down cross-legged and close her eyes and hold out her hands and attempt to pray. After a couple minutes passes, she gets up and scampers up the hill, tells one of the humans to go get some soil samples from down below. Says one from the center, one from when it begins to slant up, one from halfway up the side, one from the top, and one another soil sample from 20 yards away, and the last soil sample from 100 yards away. Put them all in different jars, find the jars, and she points to a random house. Take them from that house, collect them together, make sure that they're labeled.
Please please note down which houses you requisition any items from so I can compensate those people later, please?
She looks at you with give me another charisma check to see if you can properly read this.
I would really appreciate that. 33.
She looks at you with this sense of like, that is like so not considerate, almost like quaint, like, oh, bless your heart. You want to reimburse the people for this? Like, what a weird and old-fashioned thing that you're doing. Like, how refreshing this level of like focusing on these small details. It's that almost like a culture shock moment for her as you're saying that.
When I notice her look, I say, "We're a small town, ma'am. We don't have much. Take a little bit from someone, that might be all they have."
She tells the person, whatever this, as long as, if she gives you an order that doesn't contradict mine, feel free to follow it. Report to her with whatever things that you requisition. Don't.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that.
Send a human with the orcs to keep tabs on whatever they do. As long as these people are cooperating, we should work with them well enough.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, you know.
Oh, yes?
This crater here probably be divine magic. I feel like you're more of the arcane persuasion.
I am.
So I don't rightfully know how magic works, but you know, I have heard stories that you know, people of the more studious nature, they can't really do much with the divine magic.
That might have been true a couple thousand years ago, but research has come a long way. There's a little bit of crossover, a little bit of ability to interact across the fields.
Brilliant. That's fascinating. Well, a couple thousand years ago, that's probably the last time we got news of anywhere outside. Was it Ferodia? Probably the last time we got news from outside Ferodia.
Now, I need a list of witnesses who saw the gods land here.
Well, there's the dead people where it landed.
Right. The dead.
They've been buried. Then there is, I could have my people go through and find a few people who witnessed it.
I'll need some survivors, and I'll need 2 corpses.
Is this one of those speak with the dead type situations?
No, I'll need the corpses for research. Taking them back to Justar's Bay, I'm going to hand them over to Orbid, Censor Krellis, and let them do whatever divinations they need upon the corpses.
I would respectfully ask that you get permission from the families of the people who might be willing to offer up their dead. You know, I think it'd be a really bad look for the Empire. You come in here and you kind of take people's, you know, their dead family away right so close. And I'm not... You would be doing me a favor if you took a more polite approach to this delicate matter.
Why don't you do me a favor and get the families to accept this? I'll have my men dig up the bodies, and you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. If the results of the testing here goes well, you may be home to a brand new Empire outpost, and we'll need a responsible person to oversee it. It'll come with money, rank, privilege, stipend, access to all sorts of things. That could be you.
Let's talk about it over dinner. But I'll see if I can get someone to agree to let you to take the bodies with you.
Well, my boys will be digging up the bodies with or without anyone's permission. She gives you this like deadpan, I'm used to getting my way. I've never heard anyone tell me no in my life, sort of.
I know you could come in here and take them, but it'll go a lot smoother for me if I get permission. And I'll tell you what, I'll get permission from someone by tonight, and I'll tell you which ones to dig up.
Good. Excellent. Last thing I'll need from you then, Mrs. Overseer. Have a half dozen a dozen and change folks that'll need room and board. They'll take it wherever they can get it unless you clear out some spaces for them. You understand?
I'll put some people on it. We lost a lot of people in the Godfall, so there are some vacant houses.
Good. She reaches out a hand. Thank you for your cooperation. The Empire appreciates your respect.
I'll reach out and I'll take her hand, and I'll kind of hold on to it a little bit harder, like not letting the handshake let up. I'm happy to cooperate, and I really appreciate your kindness, because I know that's not usual for the Empire. So it really is appreciated that you're respecting our ways.
Pause. She considers.
And then I'll let go of her hand.
We're not here to cause trouble. We're just here to get our results and then to leave.
Honestly, that'd be perfect. You're welcome back whenever you like.
Excellent. Now, why don't you take care of those things? I assume this isn't so small of a town as to not have an inn or tavern. I'll meet you there this evening. Have your cook make something good.
Perfect. I hope you like small town food. And I start laughing as I walk off.
You leave her at the pit with some of her folks standing around. Your two wardens come with you. The orcs have beers in their hands. Your wardens falling in line behind you, one of them being Triana that we met earlier, whispers to you, are we really going to cooperate with them?
I'll say to Triana, I'll say, we've got 7 barely trained warriors, 1 cleric, and a whole bunch of people who could get hurt if things go wrong. Do we have a choice but to cooperate with them?
I don't see any other way, but I don't like them pushing their weight around as if they own the place.
Don't you worry about that. Even if they throw their weight around, simple country folk always have a way to trick the city folk.
Okay.
All right? I tap my nose. I say, they'll get what they're looking for, but not what they want.
Got it. Good. I just wanted to make sure that, that wasn't just the plan to capitulate fully.
No. We'll resist them any way we can, but the ultimate goal is to keep our secrets and our people safe. Best way we do that is by keeping our heads down and not causing any trouble, and keeping their attention focused on whatever it is they care about.
Okay. Well, as you head back into the center of town, the 2 wardens with you look for instructions. You've got a lot of things to do. You need to get permissions or tell people that bodies are going to be dug up. You have to decide if you're going to point them to the actual bodies of the people who died or just regular graves, depending on whether you want to help them or undermine them. You're going to need to find housing for these folks. Do you want to delegate these tasks and you got your own thing to do, or are these tasks that you're taking for yourself? Because this is a lot of stuff moving pretty fast here. You can move it off.
I think this is the sort of thing that takes the sort of care and attention of me to try and make them work. Okay. So I'm going to bring my 2 wardens with me. So let me just write down. They wanted accommodation.
Yeah.
They wanted
corpses. Bodies
corpses.
2 bodies of people who were killed by the gods. They also wanted 2 witnesses. They didn't say if those witnesses were going back or staying here. It wasn't clear what witnesses meant in this case.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 2 witnesses.
So, what are you going to do about this?
The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delegate to... Who is it that's with me?
Treyana and...
I will delegate the accommodation to Treyana.
Got it.
So get her to figure out where we're going to keep them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, if you see another one of the wardens, send them over. Send them to me. Then who's the warden that's left with me?
Scarlet.
Scarlet. So Scarlet I'm going to talk to, and I'm going to say, right, best way we keep those orcs out of trouble is we keep them all in the same space, and we keep them drunk. Drunk orc. No use. They'll fight each other. They'll kill each other. Keep all our people out of the inn tonight. And
got it.
We'll get the bartender to keep the beer flowing as freely as we can, so those orcs are good and drunk and useless. In case any fighting breaks out, well, they'll be down 8 orcs.
Okay. There's not a ton of beer, but we can do it. I'll talk to the innkeeper, make sure everything flows smoothly.
Every ounce of beer, alcohol, spirit you can scrounge up, I want it rationed out to those orcs to get them good and liquored up until they're deep in their cups, practically asleep at the inn.
All right, Scarlet, we'll go deal with getting the orcs drunk. And that leaves the issue of the corpses to you.
The corpses and the witnesses.
Right.
So I'm going to go look through my notes. I assume I've kept notes. I would have a list of the people that died on the day, and probably roughly how they died. I would know if somebody died to a landslide, right?
Right.
Or the actual where the godfall hit.
Right.
And I want to try to find in that list 2 people who died who died on that day, but not in the godfall itself. Now, I know one of those is going to be Thing's mom.
Riven's mom, but she's buried on the other side of the mountains. Yeah. But there were a bunch of other people that were at the Aknara Horticultural Society that day. She wasn't the only one there.
So I want to try to find somebody who has no living... If there's people who died at the Aknaran Horticultural Society, say 2 old people who have no living relatives, or, if an entire family died that day, I'm looking through the list. Do I find anything like that?
You're going to roll me a d20. High is good luck, low is bad luck.
All right, here's a d20. Boom, a 3.
Terrible
That's
luck.
bad luck in it.
Everyone who died that day has family. The only one
That's still alive.
Yeah, that's still alive. The one with the least amount of family was Riven's mom. And she's buried on the other side of the mountains by Moon Lake. So everyone's got multiple family members, unfortunately. They're all loved.
I created a list of the people who died there. How many people died at the Horticultural Society, roughly?
5.
And I roll a 6-sided dice twice, right?
Yep.
And that's how I choose. I re-roll a 6. God damn it. Of course it would be a 6, right?
Okay. 1 5 and a 2.
5 and a 2. So whoever's the second and fifth in that list, I say those are going to be the people I ask first. So I write down. I'm going to meet those.
We'll walk through just the first of these conversations, just to get a feel for what it's like when you tell these people you need to unbury their dead. So you're coming. The first person that you're going to talk to was a man named Withers. And he was there. He is middle-aged, has some kids, still has some living parents. He actually wasn't a member of the Aknaran Horticultural Society. He was simply bringing in some crockery. He was a potter in town. And
so Withers died at it, right?
yes, he was bringing pottery, like new teacups, to the horticultural society when the mountain came down on them.
Okay. Perfect. So I will go and find who would be the most, I guess, sort of highest ranking member of his family. Like, is there a mother, or a family patriarch or family matriarch?
His father is sort of the patriarch of his family. He's like still the head potter, but he only does the glazings now. He doesn't actually throw anymore.
He's getting old. His hands aren't as good.
Yeah, and his son's good enough to do the pottery, and he actually just enjoys the painting of the glazes on everything. So his father's in charge.
So I'll go look for him.
All right. Well, you will find Withers' father, whose name is I'm so good at names, trust me. I come up with the best names. Yeah, you cannot name him Bongo, Neil. There's no way we can name him Bongo.
Bongo Withers.
His name is Bongo, apparently.
Okay. I come into the conversation really somber.
Bongo looks up at you. Oh, Warden! What brings you here on this black day? I hear there's Empire ships in the sea.
Yeah, there's Empire ships in the bay, all right. Empire ships up my ass. Tell you the truth, that's why I'm here. And is he sitting at a table or something?
Yeah, he's sitting at a table. He's got a whole bunch of pots out in front of him. And he's got a teacup in his hand right now with a bunch of powdery material in a cup. And he's got like a little brush. He keeps dipping in water and then in this material and painting it on the pot.
And he's like, may I take a seat?
Sure. As long as you don't expect me to stand up.
Oh, you're good.
What can I do?
I'm here to ask you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here to ask you for something that I don't think I really have a right to ask you for.
Oh?
The Empire is here sniffing around at the Godfall. They
Out of time.
demanded. It is about time. They're demanding, as they do, 2 bodies of people that died in the Godfall. Now, we're no friends of the Empire. I checked my records. I don't want to give them bodies of people. I don't want to give them any bodies. But if I'm going to have to give them something, I want to get one over on them. Because they'll take everybody in that graveyard if we don't cooperate to get what they want. But if we look like we're cooperating, we could give them a body of someone who didn't die in the Godfall.
What the hell? What in the 9 hells would they want with the bodies of someone who died that day, huh? What in the name of necromancy is going on here?
I have no idea. But this is one hell of a long shot that I'm trying to pull here. I think they want to do experiments or something, like test them for magic. That's why I'm going to ask you for permission to give him your boy. Because he didn't die in the Godfall, so won't help him.
He puts down his pot.
I know I'm asking for too much. I know you can say no and I will never hold it against you. But if you say yes, it might just keep this town a little safer. It might keep them from setting up an outpost here and putting the boot on our necks.
Setting up an outpost? You mean having that white V flag flying over our head every day and night?
I do. That's what they're going to do if they find magic here. So we got to hide as much of the magic as we can.
What about the gate?
Oh, I guess you haven't seen it. We put a tarp up over it.
Oh.
It says Godfall. Made them think that we put up a sign to try to welcome people to the town. That'll hold up for a day or two until we get a proper one in place, but...
Sighs heavily. My only son. Yeah, I got 7 daughters. Only one son. You want to give his cold corpse? Those...
I would give them nothing if I could. I would give them absolutely nothing. Matter of fact, I'd bury them. I'd bury them under that pile of rubble out there that took your boy away. If it meant we'd get your boy back. I'd kill them all with my own goddamn hand. But I'm only one lady. They've got a goddamn platoon of soldiers running around the town. This is the best way I can think of us to get one over on them. And it's a completely unreasonable ask. And I'll never hold it against you if you say no.
If I say no, are you going to do it anyway?
I'm going to go down the list and ask the next person. I take out my list of names. There's 5 people who died in the Horticultural Society that day. One of them's buried on the other side of the island. You're one of 4.
And what if we all say no?
Well, then I'll go through my records. I'll try to find someone who has no living family. Try to maybe figure something out. But I figure the best way to deceive them is to give them bodies of people who died that day, but not the Godfall itself, you know?
You know, my great-grandmother was a warden. Didn't pass down to my side of the family, but... You know, my 4th cousin, twice removed, is Scarlet. So I got warden blood that runs in me, just like you, and I know the costs. The heavy responsibility placed on us from way back when. This is what it takes. This is what it takes, but you promised me, Overseer, you ever get a chance to bring my boy Withers back, you'll do it.
I'll promise that and more.
And if they do something to him, if they turn him into some sort of monster, you promise me you'll destroy it.
I say, not only will I destroy it, I'll try to get the bastard who did it.
All right. Well, we all gotta lay something down. My boy laid down his life, I suppose we can take a little shrine for him here. The house.
We're going to build a shrine for them all. For everyone who lost their lives that day. We'll make sure your boy's name's near the top.
Sighs heavily. Don't mind my eyes. They leak in the dry weather.
I'll say,
What? You're searching magic, you say? Just gathering it from around here?
yeah. Keep that on the quiet now.
Of course, yeah. Not mum's the word.
At least until they're gone. Once they're gone, we can tell everyone what's going on. Right now, they're going to be questioning people. The less everyone knows, the better. You know what I mean?
Is there any other magic they're collecting?
Bodies. Dirt. I got to figure out how to, switch the dirt out for just regular old dirt.
Well, I don't envy you. I'm sure you're busy.
well-
Why don't I let you go, Overseer, and I'll just get back to painting my pots.
Thank you for the permission, Withers.
Withers was my boy's name.
Sorry. Wait, thank you for the permission. Oh, God.
Way to undermine a moment here, Neil.
I'm proud of you, and You're really one of us, you're one of our people. People like you don't come around all the time. People who are willing to give something up.
All right.
To keep people safe. I'll give them a quick blessing and I'll head on my way.
Okay. All right, the next person will be much the same. We don't need to go through them as well.
Perfect.
You've got 2 corpses that you can point her to. And they're corpses who did not die in the actual Godfall.
I will find a runner and I will send a quick note to her, a verbal note, saying that 2 bodies are just kind of updating her, like, because I'm trying to impress her. She's gonna be like, you know what, this town works really well. I want her to come away with a good impression that she feels like, you know what, this is a good town, right? That she doesn't want to fuck with or destroy or cause problems in. That I was helpful and I was good.
Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer.
Exactly. So I'm going to send her a message that I've acquired. I have 2 bodies for her, and I'm working on the witnesses, basically.
Perfect. All right. How?
Yeah, she's getting a quick update.
What about these witnesses? And then you also mentioned wanting to fuck with the soil. How are you going to do that? These 2 things. I don't know which order you want.
So, on the witnesses thing, for fear that they might take the witnesses with them, I'm going to take a similar approach where I'm going to find older members of the town and I'm going to give kind of the same situation. Here's my, I don't know if you want to role play it, but basically I would talk to them. I would say, hey, they're looking for witnesses. Now they're just going to start taking people and questioning people. And I want to give them nothing. Now, I don't know if they're going to take you out of here, take you to a different place, but I figure and I know it's kind of callous of me, but older people, they're not as long for this world. And so, I mean, God, I wouldn't wish this upon anyone, but if someone's going to be taking a potential sacrifice for the town, I thought I'd give the older people a chance to step up first.
This is some Fukushima level civil service happening here.
Absolutely. This is some crazy shit. Like, I'm like, fuck, dude, we need to get... Exactly. I'm basically asking the older people, is like, listen, I don't know what they're going to ask you, but they need witnesses of the event.
Okay.
Tell them pretty much things as it happened, but leave out the part where the magic is, right?
Got it. This is a hard sell because you're asking someone to, volunteer.
Potentially volunteer to be dragged away to a foreign place.
Yeah. So I'm going to need charisma checks at like -8.
Almost certainly.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's a long shot.
26? You want disadvantage?
-8.
You want another?
No, I want them at -8. So the first person you go up to, that's a modified 18, which is not great. You'll give this spiel to them, and they're going to be like, volunteer to just turn myself over to those orcs and humans, and who knows? I could be dragged away. I can't. There's no way. Why don't you let a real witness do it?
That's all right. I know I'm asking a lot. I don't know exactly what they want.
Aknara has a population of about 1,200 people, so it's about 300 what we would consider elders scattered throughout the town. So there's a lot of folks here that you could ping on for this.
I think what I will do is I'll hold off. And I'll kind of tell you what I'm thinking. I'll hold off on trying to find more people. I might hit 1 or 2 people, right? You count that as my failed roll. Mm-hmm. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go meet 10 Tailwind for dinner.
Mm.
And I'll explain the situation. Hey, people are scared. They don't know what's going to happen if they volunteer as witnesses. I know you could just start pulling people up, but it's always better to work with people. So if you could just tell me, if I could give them some sort of expectation of what's going to happen if they volunteer, like, are they going to go back to the city? What was the city called again?
Just Stars Bay.
Are they going to be taken to Just Stars Bay? Are they going to be okay? People are scared of the Empire. Now I know you're not here to make trouble, but the Empire's got a reputation for good reason. You guys don't mess around. Like, that's kind of the conversation I'm going to have with her.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's going to be over dinner, right?
Yeah. That is my plan.
Good.
Just
plan.
kind of let you know where my head is at from a player perspective.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the right musical track for your dinner conversation. Don't want to set the wrong vibes,
Yeah, maybe like something with a little bit of hellfire, brimstone-y.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. All right. So you get dinner a little bit later. Village here. And right. So you're coming in for dinner. The inn emptied out because the soldiers are here. The orcs, they have been drinking all day, and they've come to the tavern because that's the place from which the booze flows. And so, even though they've been given accommodation in like a sector of town where everyone's voluntold to move out of their houses, they've set up here for the evening. And Selma is near the front door. The orcs are sort of being orcish over on one side, but you'll notice that like they're keeping a certain level of restraint because clearly Selma's working here. The humans and orcs are tending to stay sort of separate. And as you come in, one of the humans on duty who's like still watching, will let Selma know that you've arrived and point you in her direction. And you can go and sit down. She has a place for you. And there's already some food served out. There's some appetizers. Selma's got like a plate of fish that she's half picked at and a glass of wine that she probably brought with her. There's not a lot of wine lying around in Aknara. And she looks up and says, "Good. 2 corpses. Excellent. From the Godfall," which is apparently what we're calling it. What about witnesses?
Well, look, it's easy to convince corpses to testify, but people are a little bit jittery and they're worried that they'll be whisked off to Just Stars Bay to be questioned and never be seen again. So if you could give me a little bit more information about, so I could make people less afraid, we'd be able to get you witnesses without people being scared and resistant, and a whole lot easier if people are voluntarily giving you information. I just don't want to make your job harder.
I'm looking for an account. I want the corpses because they move very easily. They're closest to the blast. Those corpses will be the ones doused in the most amount of magic. Survivors will be at a greater range, probably not as useful for us. So I need them just to speak with them myself, just to get their full and detailed accounts. And honest accounts. I will know if they lie.
Perfect. Not a problem.
Good.
I asked a few people, and they were just scared that you would pull them off to Just Stars Bay. I also may ask, would it be possible when you're done with the bodies that they could be returned to us for our cooperation?
If I were the one keeping an eye on them, I would agree, but I'm handing them over to my superior, to the censor themselves, and I cannot promise what they want to do with them.
Very well. Could we, perhaps, could I twist your arm for maybe a polite request saying, the people of the town,
I don't think Censor Krellis is the sort of person to want to worry about details like that. The emotional security of the people of this village ranks lower on her charts than a glass of spilled wine.
Understandable.
Yes.
Well, maybe we can figure out a way to find something she does care about in exchange for them. I'll see if I can find a piece of information or something to trade. I don't know. I just...
Oh. You are all so sweet out here. You know, your world is only as big as this island. And you see people as individuals, not just sacks of willing or unwilling meat.
Well, that's right. When you've got a town as big as ours and most people are related to you, kind of hard to get what you want the way the Empire does, you know?
Can I give you a word of unasked for advice, honey?
Absolutely.
Don't get attached. They'll just drag you down. The shark-infested waters out there. And every time you make a commitment to someone, you're giving yourself dead weight. These people, I know you're related to some of them, and you must love them. But if you stick your neck out for them, it's gonna be chopped off. You gotta let go. You want to survive, that is. You want to die a noble death. There's lots of ways to die noble deaths. It can be arranged.
I'll kind of give a chuckle and I'll say, I wish I could be that detached, you know. Matter of fact, sometimes I wish I could just point and yell at people and they do what I tell them. But, you know, when you're leading a rabble of people like this, you know, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. Which, you know, an old lady told me was actually bullshit. She tried it once and the vinegar actually works better, believe it or not.
You don't say.
Anyway.
Records say that there should be a mayor here as well. Is he hiding from me?
Yeah, we could see if we can find him. I think he's been busy. You know, people have been.
Of course, everyone's always busy when I come to town.
Well, I mean, you are a scary mage with magic and stuff like that.
Yes.
From the Empire. You can kind of see what folks get nippy.
Of
although
course.
I can see why it pisses you off.
Well, I just want to make sure he's not hiding, because when people hide, she says, like examining her quill, it makes me wonder what they're hiding. So if he's just busy, that's one thing. If he's hiding, that's another.
I'll send for him. He might not even know you were here until a while ago. He was busy. You know, we were doing a few different things around the town. We've been trying to get, you know, houses reassigned. It's only been a week since we lost like a chunk of the town, so he's been a busy beaver.
Of course. Just make sure he makes an appearance in the next few days. Good.
Well, I'll make sure. How long do you plan on being here, if I may ask? Just so we may have to send for more beer supplies to keep your orcs happy.
Well, my time here depends much on what we find. The more interesting things we come across, the longer our stay. The more teeth we have to pull, the longer our stay. But rest assured, a backwater like this, no offense, is not where I would like to spend my time. I have many things to do, and I'm simply...
I'll lean back in my chair and I'll say, oh, that's such a shame because, you know, we just love having you guys here.
Well, you are
a little cheeky
dear.
wink.
Accepts your cheeky wink. Happy to have someone who's easy to work with, you know? Now, you had said goblins and fishmen. You don't mind. I would like all the details you have on them, as well as any corpses. Did you get any corpses?
All right. I take out a piece of paper and I draw a map of the island. And I say, we found some goblins up on the plateau. I'll kind of point out like it was somewhere, you know, up on the northwestern edge.
Yes.
that guy you chatted to actually turns out he's like a savant fighter. Never picked up a sword a day in his life, but we were like, hey, we need people, so we took him out of the wilderness. We ran into some
gentleman I was speaking with.
What was his name? Elliot? Elijah?
Oh, the warden from Hunter's Bay.
That's right. I've never seen anything like it.
A savant warrior?
You believe that? Well, that's what I saw. He pulled out a sword and killed 3 goblins.
No.
That's what I said. I saw it with my own eyes. I raised my hand up. I swear to you, he killed those goblins, and the goblins fucking disappeared right before my eyes. Like, they left
vanished?
They left footprints and like bits of food around, but they straight up disappeared.
Okay. And did the fishmen disappear too?
The fishmen did not disappear. I'll point out where on the island where the fishmen happened. I said, we fought those fishmen. We got really lucky that there was only 2 of them, but more of them were coming. We had a ranger with us who got a couple of great shots off with a bow. Matter of fact, I don't need
the details. Thank you very much.
I think we skinned one of them. We have the skin of one if you want that.
Yes, I would love that. Please and thank you.
Yeah, I'll get that skin sent over. You want me to send down to the beach to be put on your boat?
Yes, please
I'll take a little note to get that sent over to her.
Excellent. So no goblin corpses, but the fishmen left corpses. The goblins you saw, did you say last week?
Yeah, it was maybe 4 or 5 days ago, and I'll flick through my notebook and I'll be like, yeah, it would have been however many days ago it was.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Any other unusual sightings?
I mean, we've heard, we haven't really gotten news from anywhere else, but we've heard that there's lots of monsters coming out of the water in other towns.
No giants?
No giants. Nothing.
She pauses like she's got a question that she wants to ask you. And she's looking at, like she's got a journal.
Building?
What?
Yeah, the goblins built like a watchtower up on the hill, and they were lighting fires and stuff, which is why we went up to invest. A lot of really fucking weird shit happening here sometimes. They haven't done it again since. I think it was I don't know what to tell you.
And I take it there were no goblins on this island before this time.
I don't think so, no.
Okay. Good. Well, then if everything goes according to plan, I'll have all of my men search the island for the next couple of days. We'll talk to your witnesses. I think we've got all the soil samples. Did you see the gods come down? Where were you when that happened?
I let out a big sigh.
She puts down her journal and gives you her full attention, leaning forward on her elbows and crossing her fingers together.
If you need 2 witnesses, I guess I can be your first one. So...
You were there?
I think I was one of the closest people to it that survived.
Excellent. How far were you from the landing site?
I couldn't tell you. That day is a blur, but...
10 feet, 100 feet, 1,000 feet, 10 miles?
Oh, I guess I was... and I'll kind of say that I was somewhere here-ish.
I see.
I said I couldn't tell you in feet, but I was out of the radius, but I know I was one of the closest. And yeah, we were just looking up, and I don't know how to explain it. It was 1 minute. The meteors that were coming, they were, I guess meteor-sized, and then they just got really big all of a sudden, and there was a big noise and a flash, and suddenly we didn't have a town hall or 40 people anymore.
When it landed, did you feel any particular sensation? Temperature, moisture, divine sense, something mystical? Was there wind? Was there little bits of dirt going everywhere? What did you feel and sense upon their touchdown?
Well, I've always had a bit of a connection with the gods. You know, in my role as an overseer, I have to swear oaths to the gods to protect the people of this town. And
we all make
I guess
oaths.
I felt the presence. I felt that the gods had landed, and
you did. Like in your heart, in your soul, in your bones.
Couldn't tell you. Don't know how to explain it. But
yes.
Every time I think about it, I feel like I saw someone standing in the crater. But it's like I blinked and they were gone.
So they didn't walk away. They were there and then they were gone.
That's what it was like. They were there, the next moment they weren't.
Did they land on their feet? Were they lying on the ground?
Oh, they were standing. As if nothing had happened. As if a meteor hadn't just hit the ground and killed 40 people.
And you say that used to be a building, not a pit.
That's correct.
Did the building have any religious significance? Was it a temple?
Nope, it was just a town hall. That's why the mayor's he's at the back of the town now, so that's probably why he hasn't come. Normally he would have been the one to greet you, but he's been at the other side of town.
And if I have read my briefing correctly, this town has some history to it, doesn't it? Isn't this there's a story about this place, right?
Oh, there's a story about every place. Depends on what the story is.
About the
all our
ancient
old
floating
stories.
fortress of Ferris. You don't know where that is, do you?
Oh, if I knew where that is, the money it would bring to this town. If I knew which island it was on, if I knew it was here, oh my god.
But aren't you
no,
a
I don't
warden?
know where it is.
Aren't you
That is true.
historically bound to serve the fortress or something like that? You don't think it's real?
I kind of give an uncomfortable shift. I say, of course, I think it's real, but it's so old and so long gone that, like, you know, I could be standing on top of it right now and I wouldn't know it's here because that's how long ago it was. You know, like maybe it's not even on this island.
Yes, the decay.
I believe it's real. And who knows? Maybe it's fallen into disrepair. Maybe the magic ran out, you know?
Yes, that does tend to happen. Things do decay over time.
The other thing is, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. We were talking about the Godfall. Oh, yeah, I guess we used to have better information, but a long time ago, the warden or the overseer died at sea and took whatever knowledge we had to his grave. So, like, I know, honestly, as much as you know, unfortunately. It's kind of the flaw in oral tradition, is if the guy who knows all this stuff disappears, he's got no one to pass it on to, because he's dead.
Right. And you don't think then the gods landing here on this island have anything to do with the floating fortress of Ferris?
I was leaning back in my chair. It's like, actually, now that you mention it,
yes?
if I were looking for a magical place, that might be a conclusion I would draw. Or at the very least that it would be, like, within a certain range. You know what I mean?
You think the gods are drawn towards magical places when they come to the earth?
Well, I don't actually know. I don't know the gods well enough. Next time I see one, I'll ask them. I say as I drink my drink.
Which gods arrived? You've been using the plural, and you said you saw them for a brief instant, and you felt that they were here, did you recognize them? Could you tell who they were?
It was hard to tell, but I felt like it was, I definitely felt like Martha was here. But I didn't really get to see.
It was just a quick flash, and you couldn't see.
That's right.
She...
Well, maybe it's wishful thinking. Maybe I wanted to be Martha. You know, I like Martha a lot. You know, I'm a half-elf, and I've always wanted to have a family. I guess that's why I like the town so much.
She
why
tries
I look
to...
after them like they're my children.
She tries to make eye contact with you if you're looking in her direction. If you're looking away, then when you look back, she's like staring at your face. Now, most of the gods present either in masculine or feminine forms. You said you think you saw Martha. Could you tell at least the form of the other? Was it...
Oh, it was a male.
There was a male and a female, and you're you're certain one of them was Martha?
It could be wishful thinking. I couldn't tell you for sure, and I kind of like, I looked down at my hands, and I'm like, it could have been one of the others. I don't know.
Did they see you?
Maybe they did, but I blinked and they were gone.
They didn't say anything to you?
Nope.
You know, it would be funny for Martha to kill 40 people with her arrival here.
That's what people keep telling me, but maybe she didn't mean to land here.
I don't think gods make mistakes. I mean, there are gnomes, but surely one mistake
look,
committed.
If it was Martha, do you think Martha would intend to land in the middle of a town and kill the very things that she loves and cares for and breathes life into? I think they landed here by mistake. I think they were aiming for somewhere else. In fact, you've pretty much convinced me of that now.
Interesting. What did I say that made you sure that this was not their intended place?
Well, I'm feeling really confident that it was Martha. And you were saying the gods wanted to land somewhere important. And I can't see why a god would want to land in the middle of a bunch of people, especially a god like Martha. And that just makes me feel a little bit more certain that I don't think this is where they meant to land.
It would be strange.
I mean, I could be wrong. That's just a theory. I mean, what do I know? I haven't been researching this. I've been trying to keep people alive. We're getting attacked by goblins and sea creatures out there, you know?
One would think that the gods would arrive in the place that they wanted to be. And again, some people say that once a god is upon this plane, that they don't really exist in body. They exist everywhere as some sort of divine spirits throughout the air. And once they're upon the earth, they're in all places at once. That contradicts legends of gods walking around, of leading armies.
I did hear that you could check the constellations. I don't know. Are you able to do observations? Have you I heard the constellation. Like if a god comes down, their constellation will disappear.
That is very true. Yes, we have been keeping an eye. I should say, I have been keeping an eye, and so far, it is unclear. All the constellations seem to be in place.
Interesting.
Very.
I'll kind of lean forward and I'll start writing notes. Which constellations are up at the moment? Maybe we can do like a process of elimination.
Why, if you would like to run your own investigation, I encourage you to reach out to your local priest or priestess. I suppose it's too much to expect a place like this to have a cleric. But speaking of, do you have any spellcasters in your population? Wizards, clerics, other? Bards?
We have
sorcerers.
Town's always had an armator, which I guess in the olden days they were called archmage, but in my memory, she hasn't cast any spells. I think it's more of what's the word?
Honorific.
Kind of an honor. Yeah, that's the one.
Yes.
City people got big words.
Well, Miss Overseer, What did you say your name was again?
My name is Zephyr Shepherd, ma'am.
Zephyr. I hate to say it, but I really expected finding the place where the divine set foot to be a more exciting spot. I thought there would be something special here. But it seems I'm not the first person who's come to this island hoping for something special. This island has a history of people coming here for answers and finding nothing. Isn't that odd?
Well, maybe
Do you
folks
believe
don't
in...
like it when people poke around in their business.
Well, you've been very cooperative so far, I think.
Most folk don't come with 8 orcs.
It does ease in cooperation, yes. That's why we let them off the boat first.
That's why I got as much beer as possible in here. I got to keep those boys happy.
Right. Okay. Can you think of
I mean, I know I'm a country folk, but I'm not.
Anything?
I think I've at least proven I'm not dim.
I see that. Can you think of anything that would aid in my understanding of the arrival of the divine? Or anything that might help my boss, the censor, the highest ranking and most powerful person in all of Ferodia, in understanding what's going on? You understand that I ask these not as a means to my own end, but as a means to help you. Because if we have to come back for more answers, it might make us upset, and that might be bad for you. So, since you've been so generous, I want to make sure there's nothing you're holding back. Zephyr Shepherd.
Well, can I do a charisma check to see if she thinks I'm lying?
Yeah. Absolutely. Your charisma versus hers.
There's a 21. God, that was a low roll.
Wow, it's a low roll.
That's my worst charisma roll ever.
I'll open my rules. And I need to... Charisma. You rolled a 21. She rolled... You think that this is a moment of dishonesty here. You don't think she's being fully truthful with you when she says that.
And I say, as in, she's not being fully truthful, that like they don't want to have to come back.
She asked if there was anything else that you needed to know, or that she wanted to know, and that it wouldn't be good for you if she had to come back. And you're like, hold on, what's she getting at here? And you get the sense that there's something being covered up here. There's some other truth that is being unsaid.
Well, I think a powerful servant of a important person like you would have a way to tell when people are lying to them.
Unfortunately, that remains the realm of the divine. I firmly sit in the realm of the arcane. I could take you back home for further and deeper questioning, and if I get the impression that there are liars in my midst, I would do that. But it's a long journey back home, and it would be a long time on the boat, and it would be annoying to keep my men in line and not have them
I'll say,
fuss with you too much.
Journey with you, and I kind of twirl my finger on the table. You know, it'll be a lot of fun on a long journey together. I'll kind of flutter my eyebrows, like my eyelashes at her, flirting heavily.
She looks you up and down and goes, "No, down, girl. That is not what we're here for.
Oh, business and pleasure. We're in an inn. Come on.
I told you, making attachments is the wrong way in life. If you need a fancy of flesh, there are markets aplenty for that.
I wasn't asking for attachments, at least none longer than 15 minutes.
Business, darling. Business. Only.
That's unlucky.
So,
it's not often we get a powerful mage coming around here.
I'm sure this is your greatest and most exciting day. Well, I was going to say
I'm really curious about
time,
it. People say that there's spells that you can use in the bedroom. You know what I mean? And I'm just a little curious.
I'm sure someone out there delves in that sort of magic, but it is not my
Willard's
domain.
erogenous disc. It can't just be a rumor.
No. My specialty lies more in divination and invocation.
Divination?
Yes.
What's that? That's something to do with gods and stuff, or?
No, not the divine, but to divine, as in the verb, as in to seek the truth.
I see, right.
Detection.
Oh, you're
spells.
a truth seeker.
Yes.
You gotta know. You have ways of knowing if that I'm lying. Come on, scan me. Right, you got it.
Just one moment here, then.
I'm gonna fucking nail this charisma check. This is my life.
Moment. Hold on. No.
I may have overplayed my hand here, Monka S.
She sits back in her chair, and she will... Actually, she has to stand to cast this, unfortunately. But she stands up, she pulls out a copper coin, begins to speak some words, flips the coin in the air once, twice, and on the thrice, it vanishes before it lands. And then she sits back down and gazes in your direction and says, "Is there anything I should know that you're not telling me?"
Oh, there's probably a lot of things that people should know that I don't tell them. But specifically for you, I'll kind of sigh and I'll hold on to my drink and I'll say, Can I see if she's bluffing again, or do I still know if she's bluffing?
As you're processing that, she will speak aloud and say, "I'm not bluffing, and I can read your mind. So speak truthfully."
Well, there was one thing that I was keeping from you.
Yes?
I'll kind of lean forward.
I need you to make me a saving throw versus spell as well.
Saving throw versus spell. Okay, here you go. Hold on. I'm trying to come up with like a good thing to say here. I'm flagging. Oh my god, a critical fail.
So what are you thinking? Where are your thoughts as you're running through what you're trying to tell her?
I am thinking about healing people. I was trying to tell her that I can heal people. I was thinking about whether or not I want to tell her I can heal people.
Yeah. And I guess
I didn't want to tell you this.
As you're waiting and trying to sort out what you're answering, and you roll this natural 1 on your saving throw, she narrows her eyes and says, "You have been touched by the divine. You said you could feel their presence near the crater, and yet I sense from you the ability to heal the injuries of others."
I wasn't sure if I should bring it up because you were looking for magic.
I am.
And I didn't want you to take me away to Just Stars Bay because I gotta be here to look after people, right? And that's why I was like, oh, you don't need divine magic, you know what I mean? All I could do is heal people.
Interesting. Very interesting. I'm glad you've come forward to reveal this to me.
I'm sorry I wasn't up front. You can understand why I was nervous.
Yes, I can. Because I do believe your fears are well-founded. A person who sees God's touch ground, granted godlike powers, well, unfortunately, that is something I'm going to have to bring back to Just Stars Bay. However, I can tell you with the full faith of my office that you shall not be harmed unless you resist, because your experiences are valuable to the Empire and to the censor. We will take off once we've gathered all of our necessary tools and requirements, and I will have to have you accompany me all the way back to Just Stars Bay. Now, if you don't mind, I need some rest. And you need to go get me another witness who can corroborate everything you've said. So, I'll be taking the inn, and I will see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, sweetheart. I'll give her a wink. Does that mean I'm going with you when you're going back to Just Stars Bay?
It does.
All right, I got a few things to take care of before we head off.
It'll be some time. I need to finish my investigation of the area. I'll let you know before we go. Don't leave the island until then.
No problem. All right.
I think
see you later.
That's where we're going to end our session for the day.
Fuck, I overplayed my hand and I shouldn't have got her.
That's so
shouldn't
close.
have got her to... I had made it so far through.
You had made friends.
I was fucking lying my ass off. I was hampering her investigation.
It was so close.
I was going to swap the soil. Dude, it was going so well. Everything had worked out just fine. And then I overplayed my hand and I rolled a nat 1 on a spell save. Fuck.
You baited her into using her divination spells, and she wasn't gonna. She didn't need to cast ESP, but, you know, it was a fun conversation. And you teased her a little bit. And now, well, the good news for you is that the party will be arriving back home tomorrow. We've already played out their bits. Rory's going back to get them. He's picking them up. They'll be back tomorrow. And clearly she's going to be here for a little while longer. So I don't know what the next session is going to hold, but it will be the party together. And this may be an important part. I don't know. I don't know what you're going to do. Maybe you'll find a way to kill all of them and then just hope that nobody comes looking for them. Although if she's the assistant to the censor, that's probably unlikely. Maybe the 4 of you will skip town and just be on the run. I don't know. Maybe you'll hide somewhere on the island from her. But if she's a diviner, maybe she can find you. Or maybe she'll do terrible things to the town in your absence. I don't know what your answers are going to be. Probably something I haven't even thought of. Today's session went in very different directions. I prepared for you to destroy the mountainside and collapse it, but you had a genius idea of putting a sign up that like a distracting sign. So I don't know what to prepare for next week, for next session. I'll prepare everything.
I've already got a couple of ideas rumbling around where I'm like, well, look, if I'm so important, then make me the goddamn, make me the Empire Overseer of the village.
Well, we'll wait till the whole party is back next time, and we'll sort it out then.
Fuck, I was so close to blagging my way through that.
Oh,
God damn it.
It was good. You avoided the first 2 dangers of fighting the orc and killing her as she was climbing down the thing. You got so close.
Last one, I got cocky.
Yeah.
I got cocky, dude.
Couple of good rolls, everything going well, session getting near the end for the day, and then just a little slip of the tongue. Right. We'll find out next time on Floating Fortress.